360 video is becoming one of the most trending ways to capture footage, and for good reason. It creates a really unique perspective on things, and the Insta360 One X is one of the best ones out there. In this video, we're going to talk about the 5 reasons why you should consider buying this 360 camera. What's cooking, everybody? Dave Mays here with Kinotika, and the first reason why you should consider buying this camera is because at this price point, at $400, you're getting a great resolution. This camera can record in 5.7K, which is totally enough for 1080p delivery. When you hear 5.7K, you might think to yourself, that is way too much resolution for me. I don't need that much resolution. But the truth is, you really do need a lot of resolution if you want a good image with a 360 camera, because these are actually 2 sensors and 2 cameras put together. They're stitched together on the sides here. So when you split that 5.7K in half, it's really about a 2.9K image on both sides of the lens. That means that when you take this footage in post-production and crop in a 16:9 aspect ratio, you're getting enough resolution to make it look sharp. And when you compare this to other 360 cameras in this price point, you're looking at a 1080p crop or sometimes even less. So having a 5.7K image sensor on this camera is great. Well, I guess it's 2 sensors put together. The second reason you should consider the Insta360 One X is the incredible image stabilization on this thing. I think that GoPro has really knocked it out of the park with their hyper smooth stabilization, and to be honest, the Insta360 One X is no slouch either. The stabilization on this is truly remarkable, and if you look at this image, you can see a side-by-side of what no stabilization looks like with stabilization. I think for any other company that wants to compete with this is gonna have to create a stabilization system that's better than this. And it's gonna be hard to do because the stabilization on this is really amazing. You can essentially walk around using this camera without any rig or gimbal of any kind, and the footage is gonna look super smooth. I don't really know how it happens. It's magic, I think. The third reason why you should consider the Insta360 One X is the slow motion feature. This camera has the ability to record in 3K at 100 frames per second. Now, of course, the first topic that I listed talks about why resolution is super important. Well, if you want super slow-mo, you are gonna have to cut down to 3K. But the 3K looks good, and having 100 frames per second allows for some really creative and unique perspectives. If you look at some of the demo footage here, you can see how amazing it looks to shoot things in slow motion while the camera is just flying past something that's moving quick. I would imagine 100 frames per second would look amazing with a surfer surfing on a surfboard and flipping around, seeing the tube falling on top of him. Is that what's called? Tubular, dude? Even something as simple as jumping in a pool while holding this at 100 frames per second would be interesting. It's just so cool with the things you can do with this camera and the fact that it's recording at a full 360 degrees. Like this.
If you could see the other side of my eyeball, you'd see a 360-degree eyeball.
The fourth reason why you should consider buying the Insta360 One X compared to the other 360 cameras is the fact that there's an amazing accessory ecosystem with this camera. We have a rugged case which can allow for dirt, mud, light rain, and water hitting this thing to make it weatherproof. Unfortunately, the camera itself is not fully weather sealed. It's probably safe to use for everyday occurrences, but you probably want the rugged case if you're going out and about. There's a dive-proof case, so you can actually go underwater and use this while snorkeling, scuba diving, jumping in a pool like I mentioned earlier. There's this really cool stick that has a little swirly swirl thing that you can use to spin it around while you're walking. You can create that bullet time effect like from the Matrix. They've got this amazing like Nerf football kind of accessory that you mount this thing in, and then you can throw it, shoot at 100 frames per second, and get, again, this really crazy bullet time slow-mo effect. There's just a great ecosystem of accessories for the Insta360 One X, and I don't see that anywhere else. And the fifth reason why you should consider the Insta360 One X is the fact that they've got an amazing app for iOS and Android. What makes this app so great is the ease of use with this camera, messing with the 360 stuff. In the past, using 360 software was just very cumbersome because it's very new. But with the app that Insta360 has made, it edits just like any other footage, and it's really easy to use. One of my favorite features is the motion tracking feature that you can do inside of the app. So let's say that there's a skateboarder coming towards you, you're in a skate park and he's driving around inside. Do they drive? I don't know, they skate, whatever. You actually can touch the skateboarder in the app, and the app will actually motion track the skateboarder and follow it, almost as if you had a camera operator moving a camera back and forth. It's pretty amazing stuff. You can also do all the 360 tricks like the small planet Earth kind of effect. You can build hyperlapse and time lapse and then export it out from there there, I feel like Insta360 has done a really good job of figuring out what the market is for a 360 camera. It's really not for people who want to create a VR experience and put goggles on, because that's just a future that we're not at yet. But using a tool like this to get creative shots like Tiny Planet or invisible selfie sticks or slow-mo matrix shots, that is really where a 360 camera can be a very useful tool. In fact, I would almost say that this is a better GoPro than a GoPro, because of the fact that you can change your shot in post-production. You can make it look like you're being filmed and you're not even holding it out. It's just kind of floating there. It's amazing what 360 cameras can do. It's kind of hard to understand it when you look at it. It's just like, how is that shot even possible? And so I think it's really important for all you guys to pick up one of these and do some of the shots that I listed, but also get creative and invent shots that have never been done before. This is a completely new type of camera that's never existed in the history of camera making, and I think we're just at the early stages here of what you can do with a camera like this. If you're interested in picking up an Insta360 One X, then please consider clicking our affiliate links below. Also, what do you think about 360 video? Do you think it's cool? Is it the next thing? Is it just a fad that'll go away before you know it? Comment below and let us know what you thought about the Insta360 One X. I know for us on Kinotika, we're definitely going to be using this for B-roll and for creative shots, because it's just a new thing that makes me excited. So be on the lookout for more footage with the Insta360 One X. Once again, I'm Dave Mays. This kind of looks like Hal from 2001: A Space Odyssey.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
See you next time.